Greetings, everybody. What is happening? It is Whoa Daddy back here surfing the earth tonight for some inspiration. And tonight's inspiration comes from two sources. And our first is, of course, suggestions in the comments. And this one comes from Andrew in fifth grade, who has asked that I create a Bob Ross painting for him. So, yeah, he was one of my teachers growing up. All the way, I remember sitting in a barber chair at the John Marshall, the famous John Marshall barber shop, watching him on PBS. Yeah, I'm not going to create a Bob Ross painting. I'm going to create a Whoa Daddy painting, but definitely in that quick wet on wet style. So you get your Bobby Ross. The second inspiration came from my brother in Raleigh, North Carolina, who sent a beautiful picture of the sunset, which I thought came from my phone because I took a beautiful picture of the sunset. And so it was like, even though we're hundreds of miles away, that sun that is setting makes us feel like such a small little thing and connected in so many ways. So I'm going to use that image that I found, which I wouldn't have really thought about had he not reminded me that I found it, as the inspiration for our Bob Ross painting for Andrew. So, paint along with us. Let's get into the creation station and check it out. All right, so for tonight's video, we are going to go ahead and start with some straight up yellow. And we're going to get a flat brush and we're going to work in kind of the center of our page. We're just going to kind of make like a yellow section, and we're going to kind of have it kind of go up like this. Now, what we're going to do is just really kind of work that color in, work that color across, and just going to kind of spread it up, and out towards the edge of our page. And we really want to keep like a thickness kind of right in those two center areas. All right, and I have this real yellow kind of sliding through in our page. All right, so what we're going to do after that is we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into some of the white, and we're just going to start balancing some of that space in between, some of that white. We're keeping a lot of it over on the right side of our page, and then just trying to integrate it into the yellow area just a little bit. I'm just gonna really work some white up in here. Now, we're gonna do a little bit more. The top section of our page, make it even whiter, and a little bit more over here, just to kind of wet it up with some white, and then go back into our middle section and back where we started. Okay, so we've kind of laid a good groundwork. We're going to get a little bit of blue and just kind of like blend that into our palette and start working that into upper portions of our page. We're going to get a little darker, work that into the palette so it doesn't get too green. Kind of work that into our image just like that. All right, now since we have a lot of yellow there, we're going to go ahead and set this brush aside, and we're just going to kind of play with the blue and white a little bit. Kind of play with the blue and white, and we're going to start getting some nice kind of color down here. All right, and when it gets a little green, we're going to go back into the blue and white. We're just going to kind of like build it up. Maybe there's even a little yellow section. Build it up, build it up, build it up. A little bit like that. some more. Blend it in, and build it up, build it up. All right. Building that up, kind of putting a little wall around our yellow area, connecting the two a little bit. All right, building around. All right, blue and white. Just kind of like build some space in between. Space in between, just like that. Okay, now it's kind of coming along as kind of an overlayer and not blending in too much. We're going to kind of fill in a little space like this, kind of bring it together a little bit, tie in a little bit in between right there, just leave a little bit of space. We want it to be kind of yellow. We're going to get a little extra white here. Go really white, more white, some real white in there. The white kind of helps prevent that greening, so to speak, where we put our yellow layer. All right. All that texture is kind of creating some depth as if we have clouds. All right, we're going to continue with the white a little bit. Kind of put some white areas right in here. Some more, some white areas right in here. Kind of blend in all that wet stuff with the white areas. All right, all right. It's a really tremendous guy. Sort of build up our yellow, we'll build up our blues. Then we're going to get some real wild stuff in between. All right, we're going to go ahead and kind of place some white into where we kind of put those two areas together there, and we want to whiten up the top a little bit. So you can see sometimes building up that sky, it's going to take a few layers, and that underlayer is going to kind of be your base tone, and then what you put on top is going to kind of lay on it, kind of like a cloud would over the reflection of the sun. So it's your painting, it's your vision, you have some fun with it. I'm just showing you a way that you can approach, and you can kind of see this yellow area. I like this because we're creating kind of white over a little color, and I want to see that color. I'm going to finish with a little white up here and down here. I'm going to kind of dab it on just to get like a real white color, and maybe like a different variation of the look of the clouds down here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start mixing some red in. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of start transitioning. So we're going to start transitioning. Some of that yellow is going to have a little red in there, kind of where it mixes with the blue. So we have that blue sort of on our brush already. The red kind of creating purple little transition. Okay. Just like that. And we're going to create like a little kind of sense of direction right around there. And a little more red, thickening it up. And then a little bit more coming across. A touch of yellow in there. And oranges, mixing in with the blue, mixing in with the blue. I got a little yellow. I'm just going to kind of look at that. We're going to get like a lighter kind of orange sort of color in there with the blue. And look, as I push it out, you get that purplish look. It kind of help blend those colors in there. All right, so we're kind of coming somewhere. I want a little bit of that here. And transitioning from something, I'm going to go a little darker on the left side, but I really want to keep this yellow. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of get it where I want it. Soften up the edges of that shape. All right. Got a little bit more. Kind of soften up the edges of that shape toward the top. And this is great because we're mixing a little bit of the blue with a little bit of that orangish red, which is exactly what I was looking for. Kind of just a gentle transition coming over here so you can see the intensity, and then a little bit less, you know, and I can even just take my blue and sort of with the red and sort of blend some of that in there to help create that sort of transition, and maybe a little bit right there. And then kind of touch some red back into it. All right. What I might do is get the brush kind of cleared. And I'm just going to start kind of creating these lines. And I'm not really worried about the color, but more so that I'm dragging like a line through the work. All right, so a little light. Just kind of get some light lines in there. Light line in between the dark colored line are helping create some contrast. All right, so the sky was like really the big deal thing going on tonight. So that's where we're going to be focusing much of our attention. All right. Maybe even just blending in a little bit. The intensity right there. We're going to get a little bit less right here. A bit yellow. Mix a little yellow. We kind of make, look at that, a little more blended look. All right, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, I'll just kind of streak some blue in there, here and there. All right, so we got some wonderful lines going on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to start building a little bit of water down below. So I'm going to get some of that blue, and we're going to go here with it, and we're going to go here with it. All right, and so that's just kind of marking off our general area where we're going to have that water. I'm taking my big brush and just kind of, all right, now, look, get a little bit of that green, kind of taking the edge of it, creating an edge for ourselves, spreading it out. I'm going to get a little white in there. Okay, mix a little white. Blue, a little more white. All right. Get a little lighter on the bottom. Lighter on the bottom. A little more white. Lighter on the bottom. Kind of mixing in, mixing in, mixing in. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to take a little dab of that sunset color. Get on our brush. Bam, 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 bam. And what we're doing is we're creating that reflection. That's our technique. We get the brush nice and clean, nice and intense. All right. Bam, 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 bam. All right, so we got a little bit high intensity there, so we might just kind of like blend some blue in, make some little waves. Okay, now I'm gonna get like one big. All right, I'll get a little. All right. All right, so we got this beautifully intense, guys. We're gonna work the edges with a little bit of magic here in a minute. I like to take my my trusted round brush, and I'm just gonna kind of start building up just a little ground line. And I might take a touch of water and just sort of mix that in with the white. All right, so soften it up, maybe lighten it a little bit on one end. Okay, then I might darken it some more. Okay. I might put a little land form, kind of right there. All right. And a little bit toward the bottom. All right. Get a little dark here. A little dark here. All right. So we're working in some of our darks, and then get that little touch of light. Kind of touch it a little bit, you know. Kind of come like, maybe create like some little areas where it kind of comes out a little bit more. Try to keep it fairly nice here along the edge. Maybe bring it down. I kind of like this little area kind of coming up. All right. So then we're going to take the dirt, mix it in with a little green, kind of spruce it up like a little grass. Get a little more dirt, a little green, like a little grass on the edge. Nice flat color along the edge. Oh, nice flat color along the edge. Oh yeah. All right. So first thing we'll do is we're just kind of like laying a foundation. We're going to build upon this. So get that little brown, little green. It doesn't have to have like a perfect look at this point, because that's where we're going to sort of go back in, and we're going to do a little extra work. I just want to get it real nice and crisp along the bottom. All right. Kind of a fresh little starting point for me to sort of build our land on. And a little touch, we're just going to throw some light color in there. All right. A little light in there, a little medium dark green mixed in with the brown. Coming across. Okay, so we have this like real fabulous sort of glow shooting out. I like that look of it. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to get our brush wet, and we are going to go ahead and get the brown and green. We're going to add little trees. All right, and they're going to be sort of in layers, sort of along here. All right, and they're going to get closer to us, so that's going to be something fun. We're going to have a big guy right here. All right. A big guy right here. Kind of smaller trees in the forefront. Okay, so they're going to be kind of below the sun area. All right, so we're just going to kind of stick with this brown. These lines here. And keep it nice and brown. All right. And then, you know, some are kind of moving up in the background. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get these two greens kind of mixing in. All right, and we're going to just kind of start building the trees in the foreground. All right, different here. No, they're not all they're sort of like a varietal, different types of trees. And some of them are going to be just little shorties, sort of like that. And we're just sort of giving a little essence here. Something right in front, kind of blocking our sunset, just barely taking a little bit, kind of sticking up there, spreading out our paint a little bit. Spreading it out, okay. All right, a little variety. Kind of really come up with something here. It's going to sort of fill the page. You know, really sort of like walking along, looking in, getting the full perspective. All right, a little darker. And some darker layers up in here. Got a fan brush, get a little dark on top. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of tap a little bit along the top, a little green foliage, a little bit right in there. Just a little touch along the edge. We have kind of that nice look. A couple more in there. All right, now, grass-wise, we're going to sort of kick it up a notch, mix it in, get a little bluegrass going. Everybody loves a little bluegrass. And on the water. Docks, so to speak. Okay. I've got a little color change. You see, like the pressure can create some great things. So you get a little color change and a little pressure in front of the layer you're just working in. You can get some really great stuff. So just kind of have to be patient and try different things. If you don't like it, you can kind of scratch a little bit in between. That can help create some spacing as well. All right, so I'm gonna go kind of along the edge here for some more. Sort of like get a little darker toward there, maybe a little bit smaller. Let me get along the edge here, a little bit more, a little bit darker, a little bit smaller. Okay, real small little ones. All right, I'm gonna start kind of working some of the line work with the brush. That helps create the illusion. Remember, we're not trying to draw every blade of grass. We're trying to do some sort of technique, and you might even come up with your own little tips and tricks that will give that illusion, what we're looking for. All right, we're gonna go a little darker around the trees. Maybe there's some other, this is like a grassed area. All right, I'm gonna put a little, just kind of medium brush it right in there. Got a little bit more under here. Around. All right, there we go. Smaller with our strokes. A lot smaller with our strokes here. All right. Kind of keep it simple in there. Hints of color kind of popping through. All right. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of take our brush. We're just going to get some deep, rich color. We're kind of looking, kind of tap a few areas, kind of darken them up. We're looking for that beautiful spot. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add one last little touch. I get a little dark color here, a little yellow, a little black, just nice gray color here, nice and watered down. Just make like a little rock. You don't want that dry. And make a little one right here. Okay. And just a little ones along the edges. Like that. And maybe right near the beach, right near the corner there. I'm gonna get a little touch of a dark color towards the bottom. In between spaces like that. And we're just gonna kind of like use, just create like a little water kind of splashing motion. Make a little splash, kind of like that, to go with our lovely, lovely sunset. So there you have it, our beautiful sunset for us today, inspired by our wonderful friend Andrew. I hope you've enjoyed dusting off your brushes and painting along. Keep your suggestions coming, like, subscribe, and comment, and have dynamic blessings this weekend.